Because the hook is the money, bro. The hook is the money, bro. Via even splits, people don't know that, but the guy who wrote the hook can get the most splits because the hook is the song. My introduction to music, I think it started pretty much, bro, I'm gonna lie, it started pretty much a bit late when I was like 13, which is pretty late for a lot of artists because most artists start like the grades start like when they're 5, but like, in my family, my uncles and stuff had like music school, so in our family we always had like music influence. My dad on the side used to work for Microsoft, but on the side, like, he'd always have like at home would have music stuff all the time. He'd like manage bands and all that stuff, so I eventually started practicing playing drums, but I only started really making music when I was like 13, bro. I think that's when I wrote my first rap verse. My aunt had like she had a show that she was running for Fanta back home, and it was just like bring up talent and like talent must come through and like operate and stuff. And then I was like, okay, cool, let me try this out and let me try to write a verse. But it was trash, obviously, but it eventually paved a way for me, like, okay, I think I can write more verses, I think I can do this a bit more, and then eventually I just fell in love with music, bro, from there on. UB40, definitely UB40. Red Wine, Michael Jackson. I don't even know which one because, bro, I was like a big Michael Jackson fan. Which Michael Jackson song? I'll probably say Bad, bro, because I think that was like the coolest music video when I saw it at the time. The Bad music video, Michael Jackson. And then, I'll say Bob Marley, bro. Which one as well? I'll probably take, well, that's a good question. I'll probably take, what's the name of the song? The one with, he's talking about him coming back. No, not that one. I think it's I'll probably take the Two Little Birds then. But there's a specific one I have. Redemption Song. Yes. Redemption Song. Yes. Yeah, I think that's my favorite. Yeah. And then Two Little Birds. I think, and I'm gonna speak from my personal view, but I think for a lot of artists and producers, the biggest milestone I think is when you're close, like for me, family. I think that was the biggest achievement. Like when you're family, because it's easy to tell people, yo, I'm making music, I wanna make music. I make beats and stuff, and when they see no return from it, it's very it's very tough. But I think when finally you get that acknowledgement and exception from your family first, like them saying, okay, cool, yeah, we see you about this, and that support, I think that's the number one big milestone for producers and artists, because then that makes you want to go harder and makes you want to do more. I think personally for me, that was my, like, everything else is okay, cool, you can have this and have that, but if the people, like your family back home, don't support what you do, it's very tough. So I think for me, that's the biggest achievement for any artist first, the first biggest milestone. So when I first started making music, when I came to Joburg first, and I first started making music, I linked up with Must Be Dubs, right? A boy of mine, a friend of mine, Mr. Camara. He took me to Must Be Dubs' place. We ended up sessioning and stuff. And then I met the guys, Alpha Cat, Phantom Steez, and them. And eventually, we just started operating, started making music, because all the guys at the time were making hip hop. We started saying, yo, let's try and experiment with this Afro beat stuff. And then we're like, okay, we made some vibes. And funny enough, the day we made that song, we were going to the club, right? And then eventually we're like, okay, we just had the hook down. Oskasi put the hook down, like, come and finish the song later or whatever. Bro, I swear we even forgot about the song. And then Phantom, because he was doing choreography for Casper, him, Costin, and he ended up playing the song for Casper at the studio at Universal. And then Casper was like, yo, actually, whose song is this? And Phantom was like, no, I was not done yet, whatever, we're still trying to write it down. Okay, we produced it, whatever. Phantom told me. Bro, I actually couldn't believe it, because Phantom, I think he came back from the studio like around 5, bro. He woke me up like, yo, Casper's trying to jump on the song, and I swear I didn't believe him at first. I literally went straight back to sleep. And then, like, I think around 10, I woke up again, like, bro, I think you said something about Casper trying to jump on this. He's like, yeah, for real. We're going to the studio at 8. Bro, we get there and the session happened. And I think, who was there? Nadia was there, Carpo, his close circle. For me, that was just like a mind-changing, game-changing situation. Right now, I'm like actually, that was the first time being like one of the biggest artists, you know? And it literally just happened off chance. Literally just off chance. I mean, like, I think there's a 50-50, bro. There's definitely a 50-50 because, like, you need to know where you just need, like, I think at the beginning, it's don't chase the bag per se at the beginning. You know, the credit goes a long way. Just being in the right rooms, features. Like I said, look at how the Move For Me thing happened. Just being with the right guys. If I was trying to charge them for beats in the beginning, that probably would never happen, you know? But I think the credit is very important the whole way, bro. As you make it, before you make it, and as you make it. Because when you make it, it becomes more important because it keeps your brand relevant, you know? Especially from a producer point of view. You can have a big song, and a lot of people don't really care about who produced the song, if you're being honest. It's all about the artist first. So it's nice that nowadays, like in piano, the producers are featured, you know? The song you get credited for that, and I think that's a big game changer, and it's very important. I think it's very important. But I would prefer to accommodate to try and chase the credit first at the beginning for the upcoming producers and artists, and that just like it'll help you more in trying to chase the bag. But it's very important, bro, all the way. So right now I'm definitely doing the Afrobeat stuff. That I think that for me it's just easier. As an African, it's easier to export that sound, you know. As a producer, I'll go back to that, but as a producer, I've been producing hip hop, EDM. That's how I signed to Universal first for the pop stuff, right after school. But lately, a lot of Afrobeats and hip hop, bro. But going back to why I've been doing a lot of Afrobeats is because if you look at even Nasty C, he was talking about how when he went to the States, bro, in the States, like, bro, you can take a hobo off the streets and like he will sound better than you just in terms of like the accent wise, you know. And it's very hard to like relate to them because these guys, they want to talk about drugs, they want to talk about going to prison. As Africans, if you haven't experienced that, it's like, how do you relate to them, you know? While with Afrobeats, it's more like, bro, it's more us. I can just be myself, you know. And it's more vibes in a say, whereby more of the African people can relate to us. So hence I chose to do that genre. But by producing, it's pretty much a lot of stuff I've been producing, different genres. With 3 N's, triple N. Money making music actually started that time with Phantom, Boskasi, and Melvin doing the Move For Me thing. Because after the Move For Me thing happened, it was like, okay, cool. There's a sound that we have now, and it's a blend between this Afro. It was more like an Afro bashment thing. It's like a UK thing, but the BPM was just 100 BPM. We're like, okay, every song now, because Move For Me blew up. You're keeping every song at 100 BPM. We'll call it the money making music. You know what I mean? And that's eventually how the name came up. And then I fast forward to I moved to Brahm. It was now me, my boy, me, Zeze, and Keith, Badman Dai staying together. And then we're like, okay, let's start a collective. Let's start making music and releasing music under the money making music name. And then the three of us just started making music, you know, playing around. Little did we know that like 4 years later, right now, Zeze in Malawi, he's the biggest like artist, like biggest, hardest artist there is right now. And money making music, he's representing money making music that side. So it's really grown just from nothing to a tag to then being this brand. And it's not like a label, bro, because I've had people try and like ask me like, yo, how do I sign a job? I'm like, bro, all my guys, till recently there was no paperwork like at all. We were just running off the faith of like my boys, my niggas. So I think right now we'll probably make it a label, but it's just a movement, bro. Money making music's a movement, and it can only grow from here. Yeah, bro, Move For Me was a sample. People don't even know that. Move For Me was a sample. One of my first samples, actually. And people don't realize a lot of American songs, a lot of your greatest hits have, they all samples, bro. Wait, do you mean sampling from a sense of like, because I know producers samples just like loops, and then they're sampling another song. What are you talking about? Another song. So in terms of sampling another song, it's like a lot of people, especially now, a lot of people don't know that you have to get, if you're signed under publishing deal, you gotta get permission first before you sample. But a lot of people don't get permission first. But if you do and the song blows up, whoever you sampled can take the song down, or like either you give them 100%. Most cases, like that's, I think that happened to AKA. He had to give 100% for that. What song was that? I think was it what thingy song? Sky for songs. Yeah. Yeah. I think he took 100% from the royalties. But AK didn't have a problem with that. For him, it was like, the song's big, it's big, and I'm still gonna eat off the performing stuff. But sampling is a very huge part of the game, especially in hip hop. I just think people overlook it, especially in South Africa. But yeah, sampling. We need more sampling. We need more sampling, more samplers out here. Tricky. It depends, but to be fair, number one position is where it's recorded. If you guys set up studio right now and record a song, you guys have most right to say, bro, because why? Your electricity, your house, your roof, you probably your setup also. In other cases, sometimes maybe you are producing it, you pay for it, that's you paying for the engineering time, that's you paying for the producing time. So the artist is only coming in and lacing vocals pretty much. So mastering definitely goes to first where it's recorded before the artist. Oh, who's? Bro, so from the people I've been around, bro, but like I said, Mr. Camara, the guy that like hooked me up with the gents, Abu Phantom, and then like he'd always tell me like how he made it, just by hitting up people and being like, yo, I make beats, I do this, I do that. I don't know if you ever seen this. There's a UFC fighter. Do you guys watch UFC? I just forgot his name. Not a fighter, but he was in the crowd, right? And then he told Dana White like, yo, out of nowhere, just like, yo, please, I'm a fighter, like, please just take me in. Like, I came all the way from wherever, whatever, and Dana eventually took him in. So I'm always like, that's how it is in life, bro. Like, if you don't speak, and if you don't like go out there actually telling people what you do and like asking for it, like, how are you gonna end up getting that? And a lot of artists think, I also used to think that things just come your way because you're talented or because eventually people will know. But like, nah, bro, some people might know you're talented, but if you're not asking for the hand and if you're not out there like, opening your mouth about it, how you gonna get fed, bro? So yeah, very important in all aspects of life, bro. Close mouth and get fed. I still can't believe I don't have a Grammy. I still don't believe I don't have a Grammy. And not even in the sense that my music is I feel like my music is Grammy worthy and it's always been Grammy worthy, but just because like that's the type of music I want to make, bro. Like stuff that's gonna live on forever, game changing stuff. I've always been an artist that has had heavy influence of other artists in my music, but I feel like that's always helped. It's helped me build up to the Jillz I am now. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the stuff I've been recording lately, I'm not trying to sound like anyone else or do anyone else. I'm doing me. And I feel like those are the type of people that win Grammys, And as an artist, that's like top recognition. Yeah, I think for that sentence. I can say a lot of things for that, but for me, yeah, I can't believe I don't have a Grammy. Yo, you see there, I can talk about that for hours. Bro, first of all, like right now, if you look at piano and stuff, a lot of, and you can't even blame it because the genre, I noticed this when mixing, like genres like piano, if you mix them too clean, it loses that, like, it needs to be dirty. But at the end of the day, there's standards and there's rules. And how are we gonna win these Grammys I'm talking about if we don't follow those specific rules? And a lot of people think just because my song is like, boom, it's super loud, then it's clear. And that's really not the truth, and that's not the case, because there's standards, and like if you actually follow mixing and understand it, there's actually like levels, loves that you gotta follow. Spotify, all of these guys tell you when you're submitting your music, bro, like this is what you need to submit.
What do you mean by Jillz?
Like there's this thing on FL, it's called clipping, right? And to any other genre, bro, clipping is in engineering is a bad thing. Your songs should never clip. Yeah. Clipping is a bad thing. It should never distort. But in piano, there's a certain, especially now TikTok, bro. If you hear those love drums on the phone, that's clipping. So that's that dirty I'm talking about. Whereby you need that. If I try and mix it clean, I can't get that. It won't have that knock, you know. And then it's not piano. Especially today's piano. The Kabza stuff, the Kelvin Momo, that's clean stuff. Like they deliberately make it clean. But for that skija, the street stuff, it's like it has to be dirty. Bro, even trap guys had that. The SoundCloud era. Trippie Red and them Triple X and them, like, you know, it'll clip. But the difference with them, it was professional clipping, you know, like it was actually like professional studio, like they're making a clip but it's still like super clean. Literally, I think it's just sad now that obviously like in America now SoundCloud wave has died out a bit, but I think here it's moved on to the piano scene. You know, the piano guys are they're still dropping tracks like how the SoundCloud niggas dropped every week there's a new song. They don't really care about if it bangs with the quality, but the song's gonna bang, you know. I've learned over time, you can't just mix in any room. I mean, you can mix in a room, but it'll take time for you, because you gotta get used to where does the bass sit in this room, where does the vocal sit in this room, like, and that takes time to get used to. The speakers you're using, bro, are they too bassy? Do they work for the room? Is it sound, like, have you done the acoustics? Have you, like, bro? And then before you even mix now, what did the person use when recording? Was it a cheap sound card? Was it a dope microphone? Like, all those things play a big role before you even mix. And then the ears, bro. Like, if you notice, like, a lot of the big engineers, they're the old guys, and what I'm still learning now, it's just the more you do it, the better you become. The more you train the ear. So with time. So a lot of engineers right now try to start off the bat and try and mix good, but it won't happen like that. The small details you notice over time and you pick over time, you know? Like at first I couldn't really hear stuff in reverb, like decay and stuff, but over time I was like, okay, I can hear the decay, I can hear the damping, I can hear the, you know, you pick that over time. But yeah, number one, importantly, ears, and then all those other factors I said, the rooms, the equipment, yeah. Yo, that's actually the most important. But that's how the piano guys get away with it, the feel though, you know? Like, I mean, if the mixing was dope also, but the feel is very important, bro. That you can't teach. Bro, when you say for the artist, I mean, in terms of getting artists, in terms of exposure and stuff like that, yes, I think it helps you when you have like 1 million views on your Spotify and stuff, you know. But in terms of financially, bro, streaming it's hard to make money off streaming. Like I don't know the numbers correctly, but I think it's like 2,500 streams is probably like R1 or something like that, you know. And I mean, at the end of the day, as an artist, you're not gonna win, but the label will probably win, and Spotify and them are always winning. But I think it's just, as an artist, you need to find a way how to use it, bro. Like, I've never been an artist to complain about it or say, you know, like, they're screwing us over. At the end of the day, I'm the one choosing to put my music on the platform, or I'm the one who got signed to the label to drop the stuff. But I do think it's very hard right now for artists to win from platforms like streaming and stuff. It takes a lot for you to win, yeah. SoundCloud, I'm not sure, bro. Like, I haven't been tapped into SoundCloud like that, actually, in a minute. I mean, there are some artists that, like, I know still post, but Audiomack, yeah, Audiomack is still huge. Audiomack still plays a big role. I think everything has gone here now, bro. That's the difference. Like, visually now, people are too, as much as they want to hear it, they want to see it too, you know. So if it's not the big boys like Spotify and Apple Music, it's very hard. But I think Audiomack is still well alive, bro. Audiomack is still well alive. SoundCloud is just free, bro. I don't know why artists would want to keep dropping music for free, dog. You know, I'd rather choose what is it called? Where you has a download link. What is it? It's just straight download link. It had a name. Yes, I'd rather do that than Spotify, because then I know physically it's in someone's phone. that 30,000 downloads for you mean more than 30,000 streams. Yo, like the father Weezy said. Yo, very important, bro. I mean, that's practice makes perfect, bro. That's practice makes perfect. That's finding better ways to do the same thing you did, but in a better way. It's very, hence I said even my recording technique is like that, because the more I say that line, let me say, they've been sleeping on me. With each one that I say they've been sleeping on me, the second time I might have said the they a bit more swag, or the sleeping on me a bit more swag, and with that repetition I end up, by the 10th time I've had it perfectly, and I mean obviously I'm talking about the recording art, but I think in many things repetition is the father of learning, bro. Like, yeah, like Weezy said, yeah. I mean, I already told you guys the money making music thing, but right now I'm off the bat, bro, just to release more music, way more. I just got into Twitch right now. Actually, I've got into streaming. I think that's my next thing that I'm taking like seriously, bro. I think I wasn't much of the Instagram guy, so the Instagram wave really missed me, and I've never been much of the Instagram stuff. TikTok same, but now like Twitch, I'm like, yo, bro, I just gotta play games. I can be in studio sessions and stuff. So I'm really trying to take on the streaming right now, become a streamer pretty much, but at the same time with the music thing. That's what's next for me right now, other than just dropping music. I do have an EP that I'm trying to finish in May. I mean, finish in April and drop in May. And I hope people look forward to that. And yeah, bro, pretty much that. But right now, the streaming thing, I'd love people to help and support and follow the new venture that I'm taking. Henry Fong Windham. Okay, so because with him, Henry Fong does EDM, but he does like reggae. So he mixes reggae and EDM. So already that was unseen. And just like, I think the drop had, it was that time of those vocal chops. When like every drop had like a lean on, those type of, and like the way he did it was just super crazy. And then there's a song by, how do I pronounce the name? Adekunle Gold, right? The Afrobeat artist.
Shiba, oh Shiba, girl, you make me a sinner. Shiba, oh Shiba.
And the only reason I'm choosing this one, like I've heard harder drops, but the reason why I'm choosing this one, because number one, it's Afrobeats. And I don't know who produced it, bro, but they did this thing with the sax. And like it's crazy. It's like a sax vocal chop thing, and I haven't seen anyone else do that in Afrobeats since now. So by itself, it's super unique. And then, yo, bro, damn, third one. Again, not the hardest drop I've really heard, but one of my favorite. I'll put it number one drop just because it changed the game and music in general and how I produce. Lean On by Major Lazer. That drop was ridiculous, bro. That was ridiculous. But the hardest one out of the three I mentioned was that Henry Fong. That one is like, yeah, that one's crazy.
That's a wrap.
Oh shit, like that. Oh, okay.